Hey folks, welcome back to EXMO's Crypto News Roundup. In this episode, we're going to break down the most interesting topics in the Bitcoin and crypto space in a very bite-sized manner. We're going to cover some really interesting topics surrounding Bitcoin's recent rally, around famous people adopting Bitcoin, and also some drama in the Bitcoin Cash space. So as always, if you're watching these episodes and you like what you see, you want to get caught up to speed in the future, then please smash that like button and give this video a like as well. And let's get started. So the first piece of news is from world famous hedge fund investor Ray Dalio. You might have read his books in the past, like Principles. And he actually is famous for not being a fan of Bitcoin, not being on our bandwagon, but he revisited that statement recently as Bitcoin's price continued to surge. And he tweeted several reasons why he doesn't like Bitcoin or doesn't believe in it, that it's not an effective medium of exchange, nor a store of value due to its volatility, and also said that governments could outlaw crypto assets if it ever became a threat to fiat. So he also admitted that he might be missing something though, and invited others to chime in to try to change his mind, and he would keep an open mind, right? And this is posted on his Twitter as of November 17th, 2020. If you go look at his Twitter page and his tweets and replies, you can see this thread there. And a lot of people came in explaining it to him. Someone wrote, "Bitcoin is money, everything else is credit." Meltem Demirors also wrote a more in-depth response, how Bitcoin was a savings technology at its core, and BlockFi CEO Zach Prince also followed with a detailed thread. So some really interesting responses, and he even cited how other famous investors of Dalio's fame and stature has turned to Bitcoin and gotten on the bandwagon, like Fidelity, Square, Paul Tudor Jones, Bill Miller, Stanley Druckenmiller, just to name a few, right? So this is a really interesting discussion, and time will tell. Maybe Ray Dalio will be a later majority type of adopter to Bitcoin and get on the train before it gets too far away from him, right? Next up is a Bitcoin indicator suggests that our bull market is just getting started, right? We're about to hit all-time high any day now, rapidly rising in the price in the past few weeks. But there's a metric called the Mayer multiple, which is the ratio of its price to 200-day moving average, has risen to a 16th month high of 1.67. But that is well short of the standard threshold of 2.4 that has historically signaled the final leg of the bull markets. And I just want to note that, of course, we can't rely on any one metric. It's not like absolutely certain to cause or show that something is about to turn back down, but it can be taken into account with other metrics and other information as well. Like, for example, in the last bull market on December 1st, 2017, this ratio rose above 2.4. And then at that point, Bitcoin doubled to 20K in just 2 weeks and then crashed back down to 12K not long after, right? It was some crazy movements there. And this also happened multiple other times in Bitcoin's history in 2013 and 2019 per se. So with our current ratio set at 1.67, it means that we could be just at the early stages of this bull market and nowhere near a top yet, which is good, right? But this time, the sharp rise up from 10K may be different than before, because last time it was some crazy speculative rally, but this time most of the incoming people are institutions and big whales, right? Google Trends is a good way to gauge retail interest. If you search for Bitcoin in the trending topics, right now it gives us their own value of 13 for Bitcoin price as a search query. And that's way lower than the 93 of the same value observed in December of 2017. I think we still have a long way to go, and we don't have to worry about this being the top per se. But that doesn't mean there can't be drawdowns of significant amounts. That's what happens in all bull markets. Next up, another famous person and rich person has invested a significant portion of his holdings into Bitcoin. This is Mexico's second richest man. His name is Ricardo Salinas Pliego, and he's revealed that 10% of his assets are in Bitcoin, or his liquid portfolio at least. And he shared a video of a Latin country with their banks dumping out worthless paper currencies. He says paper money is worth nothing, so it's good to diversify. He tweeted a recommendation for the book, The Bitcoin Standard, says it protects citizens from government expropriation. And that is awesome, right? This is another financially savvy, successful big whale that's coming to the space. Institutional adoptions and big players are here, and it's just gonna grow more. And just a note that Pliego is the founder of Grupo Salinas, which is a conglomerate in media, telecom, finance, and retail. Also the chairman of TV Azteca, the second largest media company in all of Mexico. Welcome to the group, Mr. Salinas. Actually, he's probably been here all along, but he just recently saw that the hype was larger, so he decided to share with the world his excitement and his decision. Last but not least, we haven't talked about Bitcoin Cash for a long time because remember they split Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin Cash has kind of been not that relevant or talked about, but they had another hard fork yet again. This one's kind of yawn, but it's still interesting because they split into two, Bitcoin Cash Node or BCHN and Bitcoin Cash ABC or BCHA. And essentially the development team, Bitcoin ABC team, had a miner tax proposed, which would give them a cut of all the miners' rewards to the development team. And the community massively rejected that, right? That was super controversial. And the community voted to split on November 15th, which was the last common block. And over 80% of the hash rate signaled their support for BCHN, which is the non-development team one, writing messages in their miner Coinbases like powered by BCHN. And that network, the node one, is also 121 blocks ahead of the development team BCHA, signifying strong support and consensus by the Bitcoin Cash miners. Right here is the chart on my screen right now that shows the green is the hash rate by BCHN and the orange is a huge drop off by BCHA. Even Roger Ver, who stuck faithfully and loyally to Bitcoin Cash the whole time, said it's not even fair to call it a fork. It's more like an airdrop of the ABC coin to existing BCH holders. And this is because a lot of people, especially miners, were very unhappy with the upcoming software upgrade, which would have a 8% tax on all miner profits sent to the dev team, led by Amaury Chichet. Right? There's a lot of controversy about him as well that you should look up. Roger Ver called it a Soviet-style central planer's dream come true, and a very biting criticism of that. So a lot of other exchanges and companies said that they would go around where the consensus is after some time. They will base that on hash power, and other ones say they'll wait and see because of the uncertainty. Well, other companies were more straightforward, like Kraken, said that they will support BCHN regardless of the outcome of the fork. So the community has spoken, and there still is only one Bitcoin Cash. The other one will likely die. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Crypto News Roundup brought to you by the EXMO Exchange. Please subscribe and like to catch future ones in the Bitcoin and crypto space. You got to get caught up to speed on the most interesting topics, especially as the price action and more stuff comes whirling around the space. So you want to get caught up to speed. So I'm your host, Kevin, and I'll catch y'all next time.